All right, all right. Good afternoon, traders. Happy Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. I agree, Dennis. Wonderful Wednesday. Fabulous. Middle of the week already. Time is fun. We're middle of the month. It's the middle of August already. My number of days remaining until I drive my daughter off to college for her first year is single digits. So if you hear me just arbitrarily start weeping, it's because I'm gonna miss my baby. What to do? Welcome out, everyone, to the Tradespoon live trading room, stocks and options. My name is Scott, a forlorn, broken-hearted father. Change is the only constant, Randall said. Amen. Howdy, Bob. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Fred. Glad to have my regulars, my support group. Oh, that's me, trading for a while, teaching for a while. These are the disclosures. Be careful out there. We're trading. There's some risk involved. We know that. All right. Are you seeing my screen? I'm pretty sure I turned it on. Usually someone would tell me by now, but maybe just to make sure. And are you hearing me okay? Yes, wonderful. Love it. Much appreciated. Markets are down. If you know me and you know my perspective on the VIX, you know exactly what I did yesterday. And we've had discussions, right, about, there was some hedging going on prior to this. And people ask, well, are we good to hedge? You're good to, anytime the VIX is at 13 and a half, that's a reasonable time. I didn't get a formal signal from the VIX earlier. Definitely got one now. Yeah, anyone else? Anyone hedge? Anyone make any moves like that? Hello, LK. Good to see you. And you can see Jerome gave himself a little hedge. Yeah, a little bit of inflation lingering. We saw sales numbers up, right? Was it this week? I always forget. We'll look and see. Stocks wobble as Fed suggests more hikes could come. Yes, that's absolutely something that we've talked about. In fact, let's nice little segue here. Let me refresh this, make sure I'm at, we were up at like 92%. We've dropped down to 88. And we've seen a little jump over here, this little camp that says, you know what? We may have a hike in front of us. And of course, we know we have 34 days. We've got 5 weeks still for the market to take a look. Market posture more bearish, 4.25. I agree. If anyone likes to keep track, I dropped down to a 4. And again, this I almost feel like I'm going a little soft. I felt like I should have gone could have gone an extra quarter point, and again, could have gone to the negative. That would be the first negative dip on all the parameters, all the characteristics I look at: long-term trend, short-term trend, volume, major market, looking at the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the S&P, sector rotation, the VIX. Everything's still positive. Nothing has it's weakened, but it hasn't gone weak, right? So less strong. Volume, however, I think is going to go ahead and move into the negative territory. You can see that it's been pretty steady. The first week I'm like, no big deal. The second one I'm like, oh, that's a big deal. That's problematic. Immediately, what do? My risk is controlled more. Tightening stops, taking profits, taking less trades or smaller trades or both, looking for hedges, looking for signs that say I maybe should do something the other way. I don't have to be quote unquote bearish. I'm not bearish to like -2. I don't have to be bearish to trade bearish. That's the thing. This is my market posture. My market posture is less bullish. Can I have a less bullish market posture and a bearish trading posture? Of course I can. It's my ball. I can do whatever I want with it or take it home. Of course I can do that and do frequently, right? That's the thing about this is it's not just the number. In fact, it's oftentimes the direction. Sometimes it's number, sometimes it's the direction. The direction is down, it's weakening, right? The caution flag in yellow, you got it. So yes, but I'm still overall bullish, I would say. And if I just real quickly pull up where's my watch list? I want to click, I don't want to type. Where are you? I want you back over here. Yes, that's what I'm like, what is going on with my charts? Okay, so we take a look. And have we seen some cautionary things? Yeah, some volume picking up on these sell days. We've broken through some levels over here. I mean, we've seen things that have caused us to, this is definitely going to drop further at this point, right? We just kind of keep on meandering down. This is definitely going to go more. Now, we don't have a trend here yet necessarily. What's my time frame? There's no time frame associated with it. Time frame would be when I dictate my trading posture, right? So when I talk about my stance, it's broken into two components. Overall, what is my posture? What do I see overall? And in that regard, it would be more of a longer term because I'm primarily assessing the institutions, right? The institutions are 90%. So what we do within the construct of what they give. My trading posture, however, that's my day-to-day technical analysis. So there's what do I see and what am I willing to trade? Two different things. My trading posture, I typically trade swings. Now, for a while there, for about 4 to 6 weeks, my swings, I was looking 6 to 8 days. What am I looking for now? I'm probably back down to 4 or 5, 3 or 4, right? If I take a trade, whether it's bullish or bearish, I'm looking for things faster now. So that's one way that my posture is going to influence my trading, where I say the cycle is going to be quicker. The last couple of buying cycles, we got 2 days. We got a pause. We got 1 day and then a pause. 2 days, back down. So all of a sudden, we're starting to see this is moving in a consolidation, right? For the market in general, I now think to myself, you know, maybe would want to see this thing go through something like this before I feel better about what's going on, or else I think we're maybe moving into some kind of a downward, possibly up to a correction, really. Remember, 5%, which is just kind of a deeper consolidation, that's around here, 437. The correction, which is 10% off the high, that's 5 right there. That's 5%, okay? 5%. 414 down here, that's 10%. Now, my thought would be maybe we do fall a little bit more here now, a little bit of a pop, and then it could really double dip pretty hard, pretty nasty. That would be what it would look like. You'll notice now, of course, I drew it very fast. It would probably take longer than this, but take that well out into mid to you know, 2/3 into September. Gives it a little bit of time to recover, give us that little pop up, little higher low, and we're ready to go. That's just a correction. In the longer term trend of any bullish uptrend, you're going to see corrections. That's a correction right there, right? And it looks worse here than it is when I show you the weekly chart. So bear with me just a minute. But yeah, do I think that that's possible right now? I mean, we're going to look at the cyclical, and you're going to see why I definitely do, because I've certainly shown a level of reliance on that indicator, and it certainly forebodes something along these lines potentially. Yeah, I'm glad that helped, Ted. My pleasure. I appreciate the question. I think sometimes I'll tell you this. I actually want to be challenged. I think we should challenge each other. I think we should challenge, right? If our beliefs are strong, if what we think we're doing in the market is strong, absolutely challenge those beliefs. Call me out. Why are you doing that? Too often when I started out in trading, I would hear, you should do this, and I'd say, why? Well, because that's what I heard. Did you hear that? Who'd you hear that from? From them? Are they? I like to have good explanations. So hopefully, and if it's not a good explanation, yeah, then there you go. All right. So, yeah, this does mean that we would have a second opportunity if that's what we think is developing. I definitely put a hedge on here. I'll show you why. Who knows how much it gets? I won't take that off. I'm willing to, I might take, if I get 5% from here, then I'll take some off automatically, right? That 5%. Otherwise, I'm going to let it ride a little bit to see if I catch the next one and would add to it coming over here. Because if you get 10%, if you get that full 10% and you get that volatility swell, whatever you lost in the transition, you are going to more than recover and profit from the correction. So yeah, do I want to put myself in a position for that to happen? Of course I do, right? So what does that mean? It means I need to be lighter bullishly and willing to shut it down if I do take more trades. But this, look at the current trends. Like, this is not great. We have increased volume, and this is the one I said went negative on selling days. That's not, that's in the short term, is that bullish? Of course it's not, right? Now, let's erase this. I hope that made sense, but let's just pop over. I know I'm rambling a bit today, but I think it's an important time because we are entering, this is a market. If you talked to me a month ago, I'd be like, this is a hard market to overtrade. I want trades on. If they go a little against me, I'm gonna let it go, right? Everything was working. And then all of a sudden, it just, little things start changing, little things. And they have to be little things. If they're big things and everybody saw it, it's worthless. It's already adjusted. We need to see these things sooner, right? We need little things, little tails that the market give us. What did I just do? I want this. Now, if this is all I showed you, nothing else, if I just said, hey, look at this chart with me. Describe what you see here. Do you see something? And just, give me one word: bullish, bearish, or neutral. Just on this chart here, right? Bullish, bearish, neutral. Throw it at me, and I'm going to just walk through it, right? And you can see, there was some nastiness in this chart back here, really coming down. Now, depending on how you draw the line, right? I could argue to neutral to slightly bearish. So I'm going to say bullish, and here's why. This definitely was, and here there's an opportunity on a higher low. Low, higher low. I'm always willing. If you missed that one, it definitely broke that consolidation. And by March of this year, higher low. At that point, my market posture turned bullish. It actually turned slightly bullish even back in here because it did. We got the higher low. If you looked at the market posture, this is 2022. That's a bear market. That is a bear market. In that downward trend, remember, this is a weekly chart. So that downward took almost the entire year to play itself out. It didn't get the higher low on the weekly chart until literally the first week of January, but it did. And then it got a little bit of a higher high, and then just a little higher, but it was a higher low in March. And from that point, what have we done? We've gone up. Now, if you look, this right here really doesn't look much different than that right there. It was going up. It had a mild pullback, stabilized, up, mild pullback. Could this thing stabilize here and then bounce? Of course. That's why I'm not bearish. This doesn't look bearish, and this is representative of the institutions right here, right? The institutions, They're managing billions and billions of dollars. They're not wasting their time looking at daily charts. That's meaningless to them, right? Hourly charts. They don't care. If they looked at a chart at all, they're looking at these longer term perspectives. Is it above its 200-day moving average? Things like that. So right now, this is still positive. This aspect, this could go down another week or two. It'd still be positive. Nothing would change on it because right now I'm waiting to see. I haven't seen a selling cycle since basically we had one little hiccup right here, beginning of May. Just a teeny little hiccup, and then gone still. This was unshakable during all that, and even now it's not much more than a pause. If we correct and we get down to 414, that definitely is more. Right? Then you're like, ugh, it's got to work its way out of that. So depending on how deep this thing drops is how much we need to be proven that the buyers are coming back in. So should we be more cautious right now based on what we see? Yeah, of course. But should we be like, oh, that's it, the sky's falling, here comes that recession everybody was talking? No, I'm not there. If it continues to worsen, maybe I get there. Job market still holding up. Sellers or buyers are still buying things. I mean, the Fed may raise it one more quarter of a point. Anyway, there it is. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. What does that mean then? Because we take our market posture, then we have to come down to our trading posture. And our trading posture is now what? Now what? What are you doing? What percentage are we from the top now? Good question. I'm going to say we are, at this point, now that we're selling off a little bit more here, we're around 4. Maybe even 4. Let's see. I'm going to just call it 460 for round numbers and 440. So we're 20 off of, where's my calculator? Where's my damn calculator? We're 20 off of 460, right? 4.3%. So we're already in a consolidation, and at 5, I consider that still just a consolidation. So we're almost to that halfway point right here, 437. That's it. Yeah. Of course, it would have been great to have gotten a little early signal back over here. The VIX just didn't quite get. Let's go take a look at that. Let's look at the VIX now. Then we'll get to our normal routine. There it is. Now you'll notice back here, I didn't get a higher low. This actually looked pretty good. I did get this weird spike. That definitely could have been something that said, hey, whoa, what's going on? And then all of a sudden it just sort of popped out. So if you did put a hedge on down here around the 26th to the 31st, the first, well done. Good on you. Popped up. It's pulling back a little bit now. Definitely a higher low, right? At this point, you can see the old highs becoming the new lows. This thing is starting. This is just turning. And what's the fear? The fear is that we don't expand on the VIX in a channel. We expand in a cone. So we don't expect this line to mirror this on a parallel. We expect this line, to accelerate. And you'll notice we've got a couple of key levels. We got one through here and one across. We'll just kind of go there. So could we see this thing pop up into this area, pull back a little bit one more time? If we get a correction, that's where we end up. That's my prediction, right? If we get a correction, we end up down 10%. That's what it's going to look like. And it's not terrible because you can see that out of that correction, we found this. That's a wonderful time to trade. What did the market do from March until, middle of July, late July? Was great. Window after window of positive trading. Absolutely. So could we get to that point by October and get a nice 3-4 months in a row? Sure. Like I said, I am not bearish. Overall, still bullish right now. I see the market in consolidative, possibly corrective territory. So I am disinclined to put new bullish trades on, although I might. I am more inclined. I've already got a hedge on, and it came from that VIX signal that showed up yesterday, confirmed higher low. Anybody else put a hedge on yesterday? Tell me there was at least a few of you who are like, yeah, higher low, put a hedge on. 5 weeks out in time, 5 weeks. out of the money. Still pretty reasonable, even around 16. Not as good as 13.5 or 14. Way better than what you'll see when it gets into the 20s or the high 20s. Significantly better. So this is absolutely a concern of mine, which is leaning towards a shorter term bearish trading posture. Day trading puts on the Qs is working well. Close them every night. Okay. All right. As volatility picks up, two things happens for me. Number one, I'll have less obviously less bullish swing trades, but I'll have more. I'll definitely be more open to day trades. The more volatility we have, the better suited the market is to consider day trades. If we get to that point where it's up in the 20s, you can see that you have this range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about almost 2 weeks. Boy, I'll tell you what, the day trading on those days would have been pretty good, right? That would have been, there's plenty of activity. Once it starts to settle down, though, you don't get as much. But you'll notice that anytime you have a bit of increase in, like the whipsaws left up and down, the candles are also getting bigger, which means they're giving you more, right? You have a lot more opportunity from here to here than you do from here to here, right? In these, and again, same thing over on this side. So more day trading. All right, let's go. Let's take a look at. So here's what I was talking about. Sales. We expected 0.4, which was better than 0.3, and we got 0.7. Is inflation going to continue coming down with rising sales? Not typically. So does the Fed have more like, you know what? Now they're balancing the fact that we've got some negative guidance coming out, without a doubt. But certainly these are the things that are playing out. Sales are increasing. It's manufacturing dropped pretty hard. That was interesting. Today, housing starts as expected, building permits a little lower, production better than expected, capacity uses it. So these numbers, I don't know where that Empire State Manufacturing, maybe it's just there, but overall, production and utilization look pretty good, better than expected. Tomorrow, jobless claims, we had a little bit of a pop, but a little bit of a pop to still sub 250. If I don't see 270, 280, 290 multiple weeks in a row, then if I see that, then I'll be like, ooh, the job market's now companies are starting to scale back. They're pulling jobs. We haven't seen that yet. And okay, let's keep an eye on it, but no panic. You can see there's nothing scheduled for Friday, nothing scheduled for Monday. Barely anything scheduled for Tuesday. We don't have a lot of economic news, which is why we are very sensitive to China, right? We don't have news. We're working off someone else's, and it is bad. Like they're in pretty bad shape over there, apparently. So we'll see what their government does, because they're certainly prone to intervention. Here's what Stella sees. Very much what we see, right? Possibly a little more to the downside. If we get a little bit of a pop, it's a lower high followed by a lower low. So yeah, short term, what does she see? Bearish trading posture, mostly. However, if we looked at the long term, let's see if we're in alignment. Still favorable. Why? Well, because this is what we had in 2022. This was the bear market back here, right? And then the model projected it to go up, and it was just a little bit early, and then right through here got on the money with the projections. And what has it been looking for and getting? Bullish. I feel like Stella's got a good read right now. Let's look at the Qs. So let me take a temperature check. How's everybody feeling? Are you trading well? Right? Feel great. Love it. Love it. trading less, trading smaller. There you go. Glad trading less. Amen. That's all we can do. If you recognize a couple of sharks sat at the table, ease up, relax. It just got a little harder at that table. That's what we recognized. It just got a little bit harder at our table. You're out of position. There's some good players. Relax, play conservative. Wait till we have the best hand in the best position and then get your money on the table, or wait for the conditions at the table to improve. Those are the only two things that are acceptable right now. So here we go. Finally waiting for prices to come to me. I love it, Ted. What a phenomenal statement. That's a beautiful thing. Love it. The NASDAQ, as we can see, still bearish. The model saw that pretty early. That's definitely what we're seeing now. Let's go to IWM. Negative. I mean, it's pretty negative across the board, right? And lastly, the Dow. Are we seeing anything there? Oh man, I could never participate in politics. I could never do it. You can see the Dow's kind of holding up a little better, starting to show a little bit of defensive qualities. Okay. Here's the longer term now. Oh, this thing has just been so spot on, right? You can even hear projected to go up a couple, then pull back a little bit. What's it telling us? That we could see it come on back down to here. A little bit longer to the downside, and then maybe a little bit of an upswing, and then an even bigger drop. Oh, there's that double dip again. If we're gonna have a correction, that's the way it's gonna go. A little bit more, a little recovery, like we might come back. Don't get tricked, don't get fooled. And then a second drop, and then we have a little bit of time. Up, down, higher, low, establishing early in the month of October, and then bullish. Bob says, hard to see SPY rallying with IWM lousy. Actually, no, but only if it would really need the cues. I have seen the S&P lead. It tends to be led by industrials in that situation, and maybe financials. Financials has really kind of slacked off. Industrials has held up though. Yeah, no, I mean, look, this thing still has to shake out more, but does it shake out in technology and then technology can resume leading? I'm fine with that. Remember, this thing might take another 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks to shake out. So do I think what we see now is indicative of what it's going to look like? No, we're just kind of thinking ahead. Is there potential for me to trade something bullishly in an upswing? Yeah, I think so. And I would still be willing to take a trade or two. We'll still see some bullish looking things, but ultimately, this thing is it's looking more to the downside, right? So yeah, I think that you can see the correlation's up to 86% on this now. It's really quite high. This thing has been lockstep, just fantastic. Every time we're like, hey, this looks pretty good. That's helped add strength to the decision. You can see it goes all the way back here to mid-March. Anyways, okay. Did we get through everything? Let's look at the heat map today. Okay, Apple, Microsoft starting to stabilize a little bit, maybe. Utilities a little stronger today. I'm not worried about that because utilities have been getting their teeth kicked in. They're just, let's jump ahead and preview that. There's just been nothing in it for utilities, right? Like, yeah, they're up a little bit, but look at this. It's just been nasty. Nothing defensive coming out of utilities. Staples look like they might start to, and they're down quite a bit too. So again, when you ask me about my overall posture, this is something that I think continues to demonstrate bullishness. We're not seeing money shift into defensive areas from the broader perspective. Okay, so let's go back to my heat map. A little bit of consumer cyclical looking all right in here. Some financials, trying to figure some things out. Maybe software, information technology. I like IBM, I'll tell you that. I like that. So it's getting close to a trade. There's opportunity. Let's go through the watch list and just kind of see what it looks like. Oh, we have to do a quiz. Oh my God, how did you guys almost forget a quiz? Don't worry, I'm on top of it. You guys tried to forget, but I won't let you. It's looking more bearish now, though, isn't it? Okay. Well, C's, you got to get to new lows, sub 440, sub 440. I'm going to go right here across this low. We're going to call that 441. And then okay, 440 to 441 is a B. If you think it's going to rally back off the lows, you're an A. If you think it's going to close at lowest or lower lows, you're a C. That's it. Give me your answers. Fred is an A. Bob is a C. Brad is a B. Dennis is an A. Randall is a C. Martine is a A. Ted is a B. Wow, we're distributed. Cardell is a B. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. LK is a C. It's important to me. I really hate feeling like I mispronounced somebody's name. Just know that if I ever do to you, it was very much unintentional. Fred is an A. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh my gosh, it's like fully equal distribution across the board. Okay, I am gonna go B. I think we're gonna rally and we might actually touch up here and then sink back in right at the end. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna join the B's. And let's real quickly see what Stella thinks before we pop over to our watch list and look at things. Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, it's not awesome when the market does this, but I feel fine. I've got some puts on. I scaled back. Nothing, very minimal drawdown coming into this thing. When you recognize a greater tendency or a greater potential for overtrading, danger of overtrading, and you dial it back, it just makes it so much easier, quite honestly. Okay, 4 o'clock, 439.82. 439. Oh, Stella's a C. Stella's a C. Okay. All right. John's a C. Gotcha. You're in. All right. Good participation. Good distribution. Love it. Let's look at the watch list. Let's get out of the 5. All right. We're at these. We're pushing down. Next support level for me is really right around this area, and you can see this touches a low of 437. That's the 5% mark right there. 414 is really back around these old highs right through here. This kind of was a consol. Yeah, that was an area it could get there, right? It could get there. Let's start at the top, Apple. So I do think that Apple is no longer on this steep consolidation, but it's starting to level out a little bit, right? Maybe it comes back down, but boom up, test higher. I've started calling this the pattern. It's the pattern. This is the pattern that I'm going to use the vast majority of the time coming out of, other than a bounce within the context of a trend, any kind of a consolidation or looking for a trend reversal, it's the pattern. So you're going to see on any one of these that I draw a consolidation line on, I will trade it when it breaks that line of consolidation, moves higher, then tests above it for a higher low. If that happens, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1. Let's go. That's what I'm waiting for this market. Now we'll see if it does it have to come down a little further before it gets that. Fine. I'm agnostic to that. I don't care when it happens. I'm just saying that once it enters this consolidation, there's no like, well, the stochastics is low, I'm going to call the bottom. I don't do that. I'm not going to call the bottom. I'm going to wait for the bottom to form. Then I'm going to trade out of it. Simple. It's a simple formula. It works over and over and over again. In the meantime, are there going to be some things we start to see that we think we might speculate on to the downside in addition to these SPY puts? Yes. Now, am I looking for things that have been weak? No, I'm looking for things that just barely start. So right, I'm looking for the AI stocks that really popped up, shark frenzy up, shark frenzy down. Anything that was too high of a flyer and their wings got burned, they flew too close to the sun. I don't know. Felt metaphoric. Felt good to say. AFL. I'm still bullish on AFL, right? I like Aflac. Gave a little bit of a false signal. Now, in a better market, if I wasn't in a market with declining market conditions, I might look at that and be like, you know what? The price is bouncing even though the stochastics is still coming down, what we would call anticipatory. I don't take anticipatory trades when my market postures drop. I only take anticipatory trades when the market's at a 5.5, a 6, and staying strong. Back here, I'm absolutely willing to. But now I need to see full confirmation. I'm holding support. So if tomorrow this thing pops and this thing turns, then yes, I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to go. I'm curious how Stella sees this. But yeah, am I expecting a little bit more confirmation right now? Yes. Well, you can see she sees something out here. I think this thing could be a little closer than she thinks, but we're not far off. We're not far off. AI, huh? Start to fall. Do I have some of these that got way overblown? Maybe not necessarily this one. SMCI, PLTR. I love PLTR, but I'd just as soon make money from the downside as the upside. AIG doesn't. All of a sudden, it's not looking so good. AFL, yes. This one, it's just kind of meandering down. Like, is it going to stop? Where is it going to stop? Applied Materials, chip stocks. Would I be willing to buy puts on chip stocks if they started to show more of a decline? If the technology sector had more consolidation in front of it? Yes, I would. I would definitely have that willingness. Anything that was flying high prior, that's where there's the most profit to be given back, right? Or profit that people are going to panic to try to keep, and it creates harder circumstances, easier for us to try to move into for some puts. Amazon, I still like Amazon, right? I still like it. It hasn't stopped going down yet, but I'd fine with it all the way down here to 134. Even a little lower still, possibly down to 131. But we'll see. Stochastics is getting set up. So would I consider an Amazon trade if it looks like the market's done going down and starts going bullish again? Yes. Boeing, it's got a hold. It looks like it's about to break on through. There's no volume there, so maybe it holds up. But yeah, that's looking less optimistic. Same with this one. You can see the only thing that kept me out of this trade right here was my market posture, where I'm like, yeah, I'm not really looking to, throw a trade on while I feel like the SPY is setting up. BX financials have disappointed. They started to, there was like, all of a sudden they were like, yeah, things look pretty good. And then it's just like, no. But consolidating. Caterpillar's right in the same place Boeing is. CPRT, again, there's a consolidation. When would I trade this again? When it breaks out, tests, and holds, then I'm willing to go. All right, giddy up. Diamonds are down. DKNG. That would have been a bearish signal. Look at that cross. It dropped hard. Bull flag or bear flagged up, breaking down. What's next? Yeah, I mean, somewhere in this region, maybe in there. But if we get this to repeat, that's all the way back down here. I'm certainly. So I had someone the other day who's like, "Oh, you don't like bearish trades?" I don't like or dislike any trade. Um, I like setups. I like triggers. I like trades where I followed my rules. I like bearish trades if I followed my rules. I don't dislike. I mean, do I like bearish trades in bullish markets? Less so, of course, right? Of course. Flex down, right? Coming down. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. More opportunity potentially. I like profitable trades. How about that? Don't put bullish or bearish on it. Put profitable, put disciplined, put deliberate. Nothing in gold. IBM. I'm still okay with IBM. I don't really look at this as being this was just a hiccup. This is the selling cycle. Certainly by I'd say around this 139.5, 140 level. It would be great to see if it could. I mean, it started to pinch, but it never turned. So, maybe in the next day or two, I'd think about that. There's not a lot, but look at what it is. It's Amazon, right? It's IBM, it's Aflac. These are big companies. IBN, this is financials. The financials have just been disappointing, right? Very disappointing. Consolidating down, ING, consolidating down, IWM, small caps. This was Bob's point. He said, "Are you bullish with small caps doing that?" Nah, I mean, we waited. I was so patient waiting for small caps to convince us. And over the last month it had, and then it's just giving it all back. So yeah, no, I don't love it. Need energy. I had 5 new energy stocks. I just haven't put them on here yet. But 100%, I agree with you. Where's my list? I had, I even had Cardinal Health, One Health. I had COP, BKR, CVE, WMB, MPC, CCJ. Looking at Dutch Brothers again. Well, that's fun. Yeah. More options on the ETFs. Agreed. Let's take a look at Dutch Brothers. I do like their iced tea. Their coffee is not good. Oh yeah, look at that. 100%. 100%. It actually, you can kind of see where back here it was consolidating and it busted out of it. Kind of failed, but then it gave you a little something. That was choppy through there. Earnings popped it up again. I agree. I would trade Dutch Brothers coming out of this. I don't know how much it's been trading lately, but yeah, I like that. That makes sense to me. Where were we? What time is it? Options are wild on Dutch Bros? Huh. Okay, fair enough. How far did I get? Did I get to Oxy? We'll look at a couple of oil stocks. Meta. Oh, JPM, that's where I was. Nothing really there. Meta. Oh, I don't know. I really feel like Meta's moving into consolidation mode now too. So that one's gotta go through the pattern, right? Morgan Stanley, negative. Microsoft. Yeah, still meandering on down. But like Apple, it's steady. It makes it easy for us to recognize when it pops out of there. Quite honestly, this is the way I look at it. Netflix. Meandering sideways still. Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia actually, I gotta say, I would see this as enough. I would see this as the consolidation. Whoops, this is the consolidation, and say this would be enough. Now the problem is going to be, can it get there before earnings? That'll be interesting. Nvidia could lead the group back out of this thing, you know. What else? PHM. Oh, that's not looking good there. That one was starting to look close, but I don't know. I'm taking that off the table. PLTR. I think PLTR is setting up for a potential bear trade. Homework assignment, draw 100 straight lines. It's an off day. I accept that. It's an off day. The sellers came in, smashed hard. This is the buying cycle. This is what they've done. If this breaks down, I think it's heading straight through this like a knife through hot butter. I think 10. Oh, look at that straight line. Maybe I cheated, maybe I didn't. You don't know. I mean, that's pretty close, right? This it can give it back very quickly. Don't forget, we walk upstairs and we fall out windows. Stories at a time. Yeah, honestly, the more I look at that, the more I'm like very interested in that. PLTR crash. I saw. Did you guys see how much it costs? They say that ChatGPT is all of a sudden getting worse because there's not enough chips. It costs too much to run it. I mean, it costs like ridiculous. They're losing money. Anyway, maybe AI is not here to take over the world just yet. Everyone fearing for their jobs and fearing that the Terminators are going to take over and enslave humans. Look, I gotta say, if they do, we deserve it. I'll accept that. I'll be a slave, or I'll help form a resistance. Let me know if you're with me. Underground resistance. Qs still coming down. RCL. You can see a lot of this pattern now, right? Remember I told you there's only four or five patterns at most at any given time in the market. Anything else is just a weird one-off. But this is certainly one that we're seeing over and over, is this consolidation. A lot of the markets moving into this consolidation. Not uncommon. We just want to make sure we have a very clear idea of what it needs to do to convince us it's coming out of it. This is another one. There was some big profits in here that could possibly form to a bear side. SPY coming down. SYF. Financials struggling, right? Struggling. What else? I'm a little frozen over here. Tesla. More consolidation. UPS. That's a steep one. Did you hear? This is probably why, but they're like paying some of their 18-wheel drivers like 170K a year. It's hard to pay. It's hard to make money when that's happening. You know, that's tough. FDX completely opposite. Oh, up. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look. FDX, FedEx. Oh, well, yes and no, right? I mean, it's all of a sudden kind of struggling to get up in there. Pass. Agreed. 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 Okay. What's next? Yeah, this is another one. Upstart. I think this may be down here around 20. There's not a lot. If it turns over from here and drops, this thing could give it a lot. Look how fast it gave it back. It worked. I mean, that was steep. And then 5 days later, it's gone. 5 days later, it's gone. So yeah. Visa. Nah. There's the VIX. The VIX continuing to climb. Wayfair. Wayfair looked pretty good. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, struggling. A lot of things are like that. Wells Fargo. I was a fan. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, they just can't hold up. Morgan Stanley giving it all back. Energy still looks strong. This is what Bob was talking about. There's energy out there. That's probably the bullish setups. The outliers are here that are moving outside of the market with energy being stronger. So I would agree. Like I said, XOP, COP, BKR, CVE, WMB, MPC, CCJ. COP, OXY is one Bob mentioned. OXY. Come on. OXY. Williams Companies. Oh, I like that one. Look at Williams. WMB looks pretty good. Pretty good. Look at this one. Synovus Energy. Huh? CVE. There's some things. Rig. Oh, Halliburton. I saw that. Transocean. Yeah, it's kind of turned a little sideways, but still there. Halliburton. Yes. Halliburton looks good. Looks ready to go. So energy, oil. There's some opportunity there, right? Financials just doesn't look great. Industrials, same thing. Staples coming down. Utilities coming down. It's energy or it's puts, right? Vlad is bearish on XLF. That makes perfect sense to me. They started to look good and then they just fell apart. So there you go. All right. Can I show the list? The watch list? Let's see. None of those that I just listed are on there right now. This is, let me start at the top. There's the top. If you want to take a pic, that's A's through RCL, SMCI. And there's the rest of it down here. Add another 5 or 6 energy / oil stocks. And that's what I'm looking at. A lot to trade. I will not force trades. They will come to me. I will not overtrade in this market. I know this market is more susceptible. Relax. Refresh my cocktail. Right? You know the drill. You know the drill. Let's go see who wins today's coveted gold medal. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's looking like the C's, right? It's looking like the C's are gonna take it. We were at 440. Stella she said 439.80. She is like spot on at the level, man. Oh no, wait, we popped up. Sorry, I was looking at the low. We're gonna have to ride this one out. I think we're gonna have to ride this one out. Technically, it's in B territory by 2 cents, and I mean now it's back to. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm good at drawing lines right where it's gonna find a level to fight around. Right, the tug of war is ongoing. This doji decides it. The bees are leaning. We're gonna just have to have a play-by-play. How's the weather holding up where you are? 87 degrees, but it feels cooler at night now. I feel that fall crisp coming in. Fall in Utah is spectacular. You know, the heat subsides. You're not with these 95-degree days. It's not so bad. You get this nice crisp night. You know, the leaves start changing. Love fall in Utah. Let's see. Oh, anyone else? I think I told you I'm driving my daughter on Monday, 2 hours north. She'll be a freshman, but technically a sophomore. She's got a good amount of starting credits at Utah State University in Logan, Utah. An Aggie, she will be. I'm a Utah man myself. I'm a Ute, so we're classic rivals. Oh, that's it. I'm calling it. The C's are nailing it. The sell into the close. C's, congratulations, you magnificent bastards. You win a gold medal. The rest of us, we'll hang our heads in shame. We'll think about what we did wrong, and we'll try harder next time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Oh, look at that. It's going to come back and bite me in the butt because I called it before the time was up. I will see you guys Friday morning. Have your coffee in hand. Let's have a chat. Let's see what the market's doing. Are we on point? Do we need to adjust anything? And we'll go from there. Thanks again. As always, happy trading.